you're not just a creative, and you actually just said it to me even while you were doing your makeup, that you don't feel that you're a producer, you're an entrepreneur. So please tell us about Usihle, I will say, the business person.
Sure. So I think, being in high school already and expressing an interest into going into the arts, everybody's warning you, oh no, how are you going to make money? How are you going to survive, etc. Right? And then you go to film school, and then you also still want to tell the stories you'd like to tell, right? So for me, I see producing as a means to an end, as a means to make money so that I'm able to tell the stories I would like to tell. But I think I also have that entrepreneurial bone in my body, I suppose, because I like the fact that I can create employment every now and then, and that I'm building some kind of legacy and owning the copyrights to the work that I do, so it goes much deeper. So I actually went to film school and to business school.
So you've gone to business school and film school. And again, visually, when you're probably thinking about it, film school, abantu bagqoka ama-all-star. Business school, please give me like the difference and what you've learned most, especially how it's benefited you, in your career.
I went to film school first, right? And I got commissioned. I had my first company when I was 21 with a bunch of other classmates.
I remember.
Yes, right?
I remember.
And at the time, we didn't know that we're not all cut out to be entrepreneurs, that we had to explore different passions. But the systems in place, it was just a mess. And reporting to the funder was a nightmare, So I decided to go to business school. And business school, it helps you to put systems in place and to make sure that your business is really sound and the ethics and just everything around what you're doing. What I love about business school is also that you meet people that think really big. You know what I mean? That want to take over the world and have all kinds of entrepreneurial endeavors. So I think, of course, there's merit to both. But for me, I wanted, when I go on the entrepreneurial or filmmaking journey again, to have the capacity to market the work. Because, we're always told at film school that you don't want your films to gather dust.
True.
So how do we distribute them? How do we raise money to make more? And how do we sustain ourselves? Just to have stability in my life,
That makes me think. In all the time I've really known you, marketing is something that's very important to you. In fact, I remember coming to your office with some of my staff members, and you gave us a crash course on marketing. You remember that?
Oh, yes.
You would even come to the office in Melville and actually check in on how we're doing in terms of our marketing. Why is marketing so important to you?
Because here in South Africa, I can't say the same for maybe other parts of Africa, but you find that we've got big budget films, but then the return on investment is not so great. Or you ask people, have you heard of such a film? Have you heard of such a film? And there have always been some shortcomings there. Maybe the films are marketed too late, or there's a problem getting to a certain target audience, So that's just the problem that we know we have, But for me, it's also about proving that even something like a documentary is something that can be marketed and have interest around that, So I don't just want to make work in a vacuum. I wanted to reach the people that I'm making it for. So that's where the marketing comes in.
Which I guess will kind of bring me to the traveling part about you. I've said this about you before. For me, it's like you don't do films. It's like you do an album and it just takes you on tour. And you've been on world tours. Tell us about the countries you've been in and what that is like as a filmmaker and just getting your film out there to different parts of the globe.
That would be a long story. I'll try and...
Okay.
My first taste of this life was I was an exchange student during my 4th year at film school. So I went to spend time in Finland to study documentary filmmaking.
Okay.
And while I was there, traveled a bit, Estonia, Ireland, etc. So I was like, I like this, I came back and I was mostly working for TV initially, but my goal was to be Spike Lee. you know. So I started getting into independent filmmaking,
Yeah.
and then you get selected for festivals, and you travel. Funny enough, Q, my very first trip was to Los Angeles. I get to Los Angeles. Do they not pick me up in a limo? Yes,
Okay.
in a limo. Next thing I'm on the red carpet. Mind you, I haven't even been to the SAFTAs at this thing. You know?
And you're really living the high life in Hollywood.
Like those people, Americans, especially African Americans,
Yeah.
they will big you up. They
Yes,
will
yes, yes.
hype you. They'll tell you, you're a phenomenal, visual artist. Or whatever, I met the Black Panthers there, like it was just amazing. So that was my very first one. I can't recall the others in order, but I've been to many places, different parts of Europe,
Yeah.
different parts of Africa, America a few times, because I think obviously the diaspora is there, but now I'm trying to focus on more doing the continent itself. I just came back from Zambia 2-3 days ago where we had a screening of Lobola and it was packed, people had to be turned away. And
Turned away.
Turned away. And before that, I was in Nigeria, where the festival I went to, there were more than 20,000 people just attending the festival, So you get a taste of like the cinema-going culture in different places,
Do you understand how many people 20,000 is
20,000, as in like screenings and after parties that went on all night. Like you'd get an invite, like there's an after party at 2 a.m. People will be there. They love cinema. They love supporting their fellow filmmakers, and they've got huge audiences there, Then sometimes I've gone to maybe like a Zanzibar and they screen your film on a tablecloth.
Oh, wow.
And it's humbling, and you get to meet the people, but you get to see like how different people receive the work. Some get it, some don't, but obviously it's very satisfying when they do. And you learn from that, and then you get to experience a bit of the culture as well,
I hear you.
Yeah, so some of it is thanks to the NFVF. Sometimes the festivals themselves offer, to take you there, and sometimes you just really want to go to a certain place, so you go.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, I once asked you just in passing, how do you travel so much? And you said to me, I put it in the universe and I let it go.
True. Yeah, that's also another thing.